Good afternoon. Are you able to hear? Are you able to hear? Hello. Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon all. Today class is on human herpes viruses. Is one of the important causative agents of viral exanthemis. Aim and objectives. Student able to know list of the common viruses causing viral exanthemis, and students able to describe pathogenesis, laboratory diagnosis of herpes simplex virus, varicella zoster virus, and Epstein-Barr virus. These three important viruses we try to finish, but time is only 40 minutes. So important points I try to explain. Then I will post some PPT in the group, WhatsApp group. Some exercise PPT also one. You have to solve the MCQs and send by 2 to 3 days on my WhatsApp number to get the attendance. So what are the important viruses causing viral exanthemus? Exanthemus means rash, viral infection with the cutaneous presentation or mucosal presentation as the part of rash, vesicles, pustules, scab, macules, and papules in the form. The important is the herpes simplex virus, varicella zoster virus, and Epstein-Barr virus. These are belongs to herpes viruses, human herpes viruses. Other than human herpes viruses, other viruses also associate with the cutaneous presentation or rash. Pox viruses, important smallpox, parvovirus, human papilloma virus, measles, rubella, coxsackie, and dengue fever. It is part of viral hemolytic fever. Some important photographs, just like a first, these are some presentation of viral infection associated with the cutaneous and mucosal presentation, conjunctivitis, associated face involvement, gingivitis, generalized rash, cutaneous presentation, genital presentation, genital rash, like form of ulcer, and the cutaneous lesion in the just like a form of vesicles. Herpetic whitlow, which is a physician, some comes contact with the patient. Sometimes they develop the finger, healthcare workers, they're known as herpetic whitlow. So these are the pictures only showing these are the lesions we observe in our clinical practice. They associate maybe maybe drug reaction also sometimes the presentation like same. So to differentiate, it is to confirm the diagnosis, we require laboratory diagnosis to confirm the etiology. Okay, so before start, just we want to discuss one or two clinical cases and then we start in short our topic. The concerned first clinical case, a 25-year female presented with complaints of multiple very painful vesiculo-ulcerative lesions on genitalia for the previous 7 days and high fever, headache, vomiting since 2 days. On examination, she was found to have neck rigidity. Lumbar puncture was done. CSF was clear with cell count 200 cell per cubic, but lymphocytes are predominant and does not reveal any abnormal finding in CSF. What are the key points? One is the multiple very painful vesicular ulcer lesions. मतलब painful है, multiple है. So what are the causing agents? Also multiple ulcer in genitalia, and those are painful. First we list out. Then associated with the meningitis. Rigidity, so it is associated with the meningitis. And lymphocytes are predominant, indicate it is aseptic meningitis and not a pyogenic. Mostly pyogenic meningitis caused by bacteria, pneumococci, meningococci. And aseptic meningitis caused by chronic infection, maybe some bacteria, but mostly caused by viruses. So here, cutaneous presentation, meningitis with aseptic meningitis. So that is we get clue to diagnosis of the causative agent. In second case, 20-year-old student presented with fever and generalized maculopapular rash, generalized, resembling dewdrop. Dewdrop appearance. Why dewdrop appearance? That mean lecture we will discuss. Prior to this, there was a severe headache with generalized pain. The rash was more on the core trunk. Rash is more on the trunk and proximal part of the limb with small papules, vesicles, pustules, and crust. I mean, all types of lesions are there. Not only vesicles one, all the types of all the variety are there: papules, vacuoles, vesicles, pustules, and crust. Such presentation we observe start from the trunk, mostly in the children, but maybe in adult. So it's one of the our diagnosis, clinical diagnosis, going towards the particular that organism and confirmed by laboratory investigation. Here also keyword generalized है, maculopapular rash है, but mostly common in the trunk. Dewdrop. Dewdrop मतलब superficial lesions, not involvement of the deep layer of the skin. Superficial lesions. And all types of lesions, papules, vesicle, pustules, and crust in the same patient at the same time. So, in that clinical probability diagnosis, this is and then confirmed by laboratory investigation. Already we have discussed this list. So today we want to complete these three: herpes simplex virus, varicella zoster virus, and Epstein-Barr virus. Before start herpes simplex virus, the herpes variety sometimes ask to classify the herpes viruses. The human herpes viruses classified to three groups: alpha herpes virus, beta, and gamma, depend on their site of infection and some characteristics. In alpha, there are three: herpes simplex 1, herpes simplex 2, and varicella zoster virus, also known as human herpes virus 1, 2, 3. 4 is gamma herpes variety, Epstein-Barr virus, and beta herpes variety is cytomegalovirus. And most characteristic feature of herpes virus is latent infection. Suppose any person having a symptomatic infection but present lifelong in the body, and so it's a characteristic feature of herpes virus infection, latent infection, and anytime in it can reactivate in future life. Pathogenesis. First, the herpes simplex virus, how it get infection, pathogenesis, and laboratory diagnosis. The source of the infection in herpes simplex virus, only human being. There is no other natural source other than human being. So patient and carrier, these are the source of infection. And the lesions mostly present.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
हाँ.
Sir, slides नहीं दिख रहे sir.
Slides नहीं दिख रहे? एक भी नहीं दिख रही है?
Just main slide दिख रही है sir.
कौन सी? पहली
वाली.
फर्स्ट स्लाइड दिख रही है ओनली?
हाँ.
मूविंग नहीं हो रही है?
नहीं सर.
मूव नहीं हो रहे ना? स्लाइड मूविंग?
No sir.
Any idea then? Because in my laptop it is moving.
Sir, we can see only the first slide, sir. Title slide only.
Title matlab first slide na, that is a name and topic name only. Topic name only, no? Slides are not moving, okay, but I don't know how to move because then I'm moving. So I will share the PPT in the group. Just try to concentrate. Without a slide, you can't understand. That is okay. But that video, suppose I will record, I will share the record after viewing. Okay, anyway, the source of infection of the pathogen is the herpes simplex virus, a human being. It transmitted by skin to skin contact. Lesions mostly present in the mucosal and skin, genital area. So venereal transmission also there, sexual transmitted disease. It is not other transmission, it is only close contact, venereal or skin to skin direct contact. When the virus enter into the body, when the virus enter the body, they multiply locally and it is spread cell to cell. After they multiply locally, they infect the cutaneous nerve, and from the nerve, cutaneous nerve, they transport it intra-axonally to the ganglia. So there are two types, HSV1 and HSV2. HSV1, that is mostly above the waist lesions caused by herpes simplex type 1, and herpes simplex type 2 mostly below the waist. But it's not an exact rule, but maximum cases above the waist caused by HSV1 and below the waist caused by genital lesions caused by HSV2. So from cutaneous, they transport it intra-axonal to the ganglia and replicate further in ganglion. The trigeminal ganglion in HSV1 above the waist, trigeminal now, trigeminal ganglion. And below the waist, they replicate in the sacral plexus. Sacral plexus. And sometime they latent infection for lifelong without any clinical presentation. But in some patient, they multiply more and again they centrifugally transfer to the skin and mucosa through nerves. And when they multiply in the locally cutaneous site and mucosa, they produce the lesion due to degeneration of the infected cell. And there is some immunological and sensitive reaction. They produce vesicles, discoloration of the skin macule, elevation of skin papule, papule accumulated fluid vesicle, vesicle convert into pus, pustule, and then it get burst and form ulcer. So these are the lesions that develop at the mucosal site and cutaneous. Mucosal may be genital mucosa or oral mucosa. Ganglia to skin. First skin to ganglia, replicate more, and again ganglia to skin and mucosa, and then specific clinical presentation. HSV1 trigeminal now and HSV2, that is the sacral plexus. Important lesions caused by HSV, that is herpes febrile or fever blister. In the fever, it gets stimulated, and mostly they cause at the site is a face. They form the blister-like lesions, mostly lip and beside the mouth. That is known as herpes febrilis. Acute gingiostomatitis, involvement of the gum in oral cavity, that is known as gingiostomatitis. Sometimes the handling the patient, cutaneous dermatologists or healthcare workers, at the time of handling, the lesions comes in contact with the hand, and that digits or hand get infection, that is known as herpetic whitlow. The herpetic whitlow, it is caused by herpes simplex virus. Herpetic whitlow, it is the lesions occur on the hand or digit in healthcare worker when it comes in contact at the time of examination of the patient. Lesions, sometimes ophthalmic lesions also cause, that is acute keratoconjunctivitis, and it is some precautions. We should not use steroid in such a patient if caused by virus infection or viruses. Acute keratoconjunctivitis or deep lesions, maybe it gets spread because we are preventing the immune response. Genital lesions, mostly again the question in that is painful multiple lesions on genitalia. It is mostly associated with herpes simplex virus, and in bacteria that is chancroid. We don't know now it is chancroid or herpes simplex, so that is required the diagnosis because chancroid is the bacteria and herpes simplex it is a virus. So when we diagnose, we get the confirmed diagnosis, and treatment line is also different. Viral infection different, bacteria is different. The painful multiple ulcers on genitalia is mostly caused by herpes simplex virus and Haemophilus ducrei, that is known as chancroid. Congenital infection, because it's a commonest site in the female, it is cervix. All the lesions, all the sites, endometrium, cervix, vagina, it get involved or infected. But cervix, mostly the asymptomatic infection, and sometimes it is hidden. So it is more chances they transmit the infection to the baby at the time of birth, when the baby passes through the birth canal. So the detection of carrier in herpes simplex virus in female, so we prevent by doing the cesarean section. So detection of HSV in the ANC by doing some tests, TORCH group of tests, T for toxoplasma, R for rubella, cytomegalo, H is a herpes. The herpes also detection of carrier to prevent the congenital transmission. How we prevent? It is a perinatal transmission, not a through placenta. Why perinatal? Because the lesions mostly present at the site of cervix. At the time of birth, when the baby passes through the birth canal, it comes in contact with the site of infection. And suppose there is some break or scratches in the body of the baby, they get transmit to the baby and cause congenital herpes infection. So prevent it, we do the cesarean section. We not allow the normal delivery. So that is one of the congenital progenition by perinatal transmission. So these are the pathogenicity, what is the source, mode of transmission, site of infection, clinical presentation. Laboratory diagnosis, we collect the sample that is the vesicles, means from the saliva, that is oral cavity, lesions sometimes burst out, they present in the saliva, respiratory secretions, vesicular secretions and genital area. This specimen we do observe under the electron microscope. So we observe the virus particles. These are the facilities available. Another do the staining methods. That is important staining method used in the HSV and varicella zoster. That is Zhang smear. Toluidine blue. That is a stain we used. Prepared the smear from the specimen collected from the patient, genital area and vesiculus on the cutaneous lesion and mucosal lesions in the oral cavity. Prepare the smear stained by toluidine blue and we observe giant cells that is known as Zhang cell. It is a multinucleated giant cells present in the infected cell. So these infected cells are become multinucleated and giant cell with faceted nuclei, homogeneously stained, ground glass appearance. So we observe in the microscope by Giemsa staining method or Zhang smear, that is toluidine blue staining method. The toluidine blue staining method, that is Zhang smear, Zhang staining method, and Zhang cell, that is the presumptive diagnosis of herpes simplex virus and varicella zoster virus. Because Zhang smear also positive in varicella zoster virus also. So we can't confirm it is a simplex or herpes zoster. So Giemsa staining method to observe the inclusion body in the nucleus, intranuclear inclusion body, and by using the monoclonal antibody against the antigen, herpes virus antigen, we detect in the fluorescent microscope by immunofluorescent technique. So we prepared the smear. Suppose the virus antigen is present, we allow the conjugated antibody, conjugated with fluorescent dye. If the antigen present, antibody will attach, and that immune complex we observe under fluorescent microscope, illuminated like stars and against the dark background. That is appearance. If antigen not present, monoclonal antibody doesn't attach to the specific antigen. So this monoclonal antibody, we can differentiate antigen present in the smear. It is HSV1, HSV2, or varicella zoster virus. So by this technique, we can differentiate it is HSV1 infection, HSV2 infection, or varicella zoster infection. That we not differentiate by microscopy by Zhang smear. Isolation, herpes simplex virus can grow on the embryonated egg, chorioallantic membrane, produce the pox. The HSV1 produce small pox, HSV2 produce larger and necrotic pox. In that we differentiate HSV1 and HSV2. And from the pox, we again identify the virus growth or not by immunofluorescent technique. Instead of embryonated egg, we can use the tissue culture, primary monkey cell line or human fibroblast, specimen inoculate into tissue culture, and after 3 to 5 days, we detect the virus growth and cytopathic effect in tissue culture bottle. Again, we can identify differentiate into HSV1, HSV2, HSV3 by immunofluorescent technique. Same just we have discussed before. So there we have collected sample from the patient. We are just taking the fluid from the culture bottle. The culture bottle, when we take the fluid, it contains the antigen, and that antigen we prepare the smear, and we detect by monoclonal antibody conjugated with by fluorescent dye and observe under fluorescent microscope. Now, HSV1, it is mostly causing encephalitis. It is above the waist infection, less neurovirulent, less resistant to antibiotic compared to HSV2 is more drug resistant strain, more neurovirulent, and produce large lesions or